This podcast will fail, partly because I apparently can't even stick to my own self-imposed upload schedule, but mostly because nobody's going to listen to it. However, a couple of you appear to be proving me wrong, so who knows? Episode 50. 50. All right, cool. Episode 50 in this podcast will fail. So, I'm just some guy. Let me get that out of the way first. Who I am is completely irrelevant to the conversations that I come here to have with you. I fell apart yesterday. So, when I started this podcast, I was on the mission to record daily and just to pump out content and have conversations and make it happen, regardless of the outcome, no expectations whatsoever. A couple of weeks ago, I realized that I still have a life to live. I still have a family to spend time with and care for, and other pursuits beyond just talking to a phone every single day and uploading it. So I took weekends off. Let's give it a rest for Saturday and Sunday. We'll just do Monday to Friday. Well, okay. Yesterday was Monday and I didn't record anything and I didn't upload anything, and I had one person admonish me for that, and I'll swing back to that later. But I didn't record because frankly it was a very difficult day. It was a very frustrating day filled with a lot of anxiety and just the basic idea of trying to grocery shop for my family. This is what is this? This is November 17th is today. This is when I'm recording this. Say what you want, believe what you want about the COVID-19 crisis in this country. Where I am, it feels a little bit like the walls are closing in, and I'm scared. And people who think differently than I do love to say divisive and just mean-spirited things like, "Oh, you're just living in fear." Well, yeah. I know people who have lost family members to this disease. Suddenly, unexpectedly, young, healthy people. It's scary, okay? So if you want to say that I'm living in fear, yesterday I was definitely living in a little bit of fear. The county that I live in experienced a ridiculous spike in positive cases. The county that I work in has been seeing a steady increase in positive cases. It's a little scary. So I've still got to stick my head into these grocery stores with all these other morons that are out there living in pandemic world, trying to clear store shelves because they're panic buying. Half the people in the store refuse to wear their mask properly, even though it's law where I am. You don't have a choice. If you're in the store, you have to wear that mask. And yes, it has to go over your nose, dumbass. So if anybody's listening right now and you're of that particular mindset when it comes to this virus and this mask wearing, please feel free to stop listening and fuck off. Okay. Anyway, so it was frustrating and it was nerve-wracking, and I moved quick, I moved concisely, I knew exactly where I was going, I stayed as far away from people as I could, I moved as fast as I could, and if I saw an aisle in either of the grocery stores that I was in that had a lot of people in it, I diverted around and came back to it once the lanes were a little emptier. I don't want to deal with people. I don't want to be in the same space as people. I don't want to breathe the same air as people right now. I have no margin for error with this virus. So I have 2 people in my house that have compromised immune systems. I am a lifelong asthmatic with lungs that are 20% scar tissue. I'm not playing any games. I'm not taking any chances. And so by the time I got done with all that, now that I've sat here for 5 minutes extolling how frustrating yesterday was, I got home mid-afternoon, packed away the groceries, and just mentally and emotionally and almost physically crashed and said, I've that's enough. I can't think about anything else. And I just flopped down and turned on television and just flipped channels until it was dinner time. I had nothing. So sorry. If you're the one person who's out there expecting that almost daily upload from me, I really do apologize. And I see that there's some folks that are listening in consistently, a couple of you every day. So thank you, and I appreciate your patronage and your patience with me. Okay, so now again, we're almost 6 minutes in, and it's time for me to get back on track a little bit and try to salvage what I can of this week. Season 3, I have decided that I wanted to ask people a question, and every week gather responses as best as possible. There's a link in the description. I got to fix that. Apparently it wasn't showing up as a link, so nobody's left me any voicemails. But you can leave me a voicemail and answer my question, and I will be happy to include it. I'm going to try to fix that. I think I know what I did wrong, but someone pointed that out to me today, that the link doesn't work. Oh, well, that might be why nobody's responded. But I'm also going to be putting the questions out on my personal Facebook, gathering those responses and see. And I haven't actually put this question out on my Facebook yet. I meant to do that before I came out here to record. So let's do that now. This week, I'm going to literally type. Oh no, you know what? I can do text to speech. So I hit the little microphone as I'm on my my Facebook page here. Microphone. Okay. I have another question, if anyone is interested in answering it for me. And thank you to everybody who answered my question last week. But here it is. And now because I'm doing text to speech, I got to stop and I got to hit the period and I got to space down and start a new paragraph. Okay. What do you believe? Question mark. Right? Got to do the question mark because it's text to speech. And honestly, I do the text to speech mostly because I got big fat fingers and the buttons on these phones are freaking minuscule and I'm not really good at typing anyways. So I have to stop a lot and whatever. I'd be typing and backspacing for like an hour if I tried to just write that, especially while I'm trying to talk to you, which would be ridiculous. But this is what I want to know this week. Okay, so let me go back there. Right? No? Yeah. There's no wrong answer. No? Yes. Okay. Comma. No, it didn't work. Well, this podcast will indeed fail because this jackass has no idea what he's doing. Okay, ready? Here we go. There's no wrong answer, comma. I'm not talking specifically about religion or politics or anything else for that matter. I want to know off the top of your head, from the very top of your heart, what do you believe? What do you believe in? Question mark. What do you believe about? ... Anything? Question mark. I'm going to stop there. And that's what I really, it's interesting because when you bring in the word believe, people automatically go to religion and faith. And that's fine. And look, there's a perfectly valid set of, answers around that, depending on if you are a person of faith, if you have particular religious beliefs, regardless of what they are. But it can go further, and I'm curious to see if I get responses from anybody that differ from just religion, right? Do you believe in people? Do you believe in the system? Do you believe in humanity? Do you believe in science? Do you believe in... And then again, you get to your expected list of responses. Do you believe in God? Do you believe in a creator, a deity? Do you believe in whatever? I'm not here to judge it. I just want to gather the responses. and see what kind of interesting things I get from people. So actually, let me go ahead. Let me just proofread this real quick, make sure that it understood all of my garbled words correctly. I should put a comma in there. I missed a comma. What do? Okay, and we'll just put a little thing, and I'll type this one. Thanks in advance. Smiley face. Okay, there you go. So how meta is that when I'm literally social media-ing on a podcast that has no social media? There we go. Ready? Post. All right, we'll see what happens there. We might get some answers before I finish recording, as we are about 11 minutes in. So I intend to answer the question myself, right? I'm going to be hopefully getting these responses every day of people telling me what they believe. At the same time, I'm going to do my best to answer from my own perspective. I'm going to hold off on the real meat of the answer until later this week, because it's just I can't help myself but to try and dance around it a little bit. It's just who I am. It's how I think. What I believe, right? And I'll answer the question, at least the beginning part, by laying out a little bit of where I came from, right? So I continue on not telling you who I am, because I think it's not necessary. It doesn't matter who I am. What in the world? I totally did not hit any buttons. Thank you. Wow. Well, my phone just started playing somebody's video of a waterfall. That was weird. Okay. Where was I? Oh, okay. So I still think, everybody has experiences regardless of what your name is and where you are. And experiences, sometimes you can find commonality. And I think by not using my name, I can be part of the ether with you. Okay. But I think it's important to have a little bit of a baseline of who I am and where I come from in terms of belief. Okay, so I'll lay out the beginning of what I believe by saying that I attended a private Catholic elementary school. Right? Some people say the word primary school. Especially if it's over in the UK, grammar school, grade school, primary school, whatever you want to call it. I attended a Catholic school from kindergarten all the way through 8th grade. It was a Roman Catholic school, so it was extremely strict, everything was very controlled, everything was very measured and metered and static. Roman Catholic faith, is a heavy lift. And I had it drilled into my head every single day from the first day of kindergarten straight through to again when I moved on and went to public high school for the first time. It's interesting to me because there's a certain segment of my family that was very much about it, and that would be there's a great aunt who was kind of the matriarch, the head of this family that I grew up in, and she was all about it. She was very much a Old Testament, God and Jesus and the whole bit, and she really drove my mother to make sure that my brothers and I attended this Catholic elementary school. Every single morning, the Pledge of Allegiance is accompanied by a prayer. Every single morning. There's a specific religion class every single day. And this is, again, all the way from kindergarten all the way straight through. There's Jesus time all day, every day. I started to seriously question things early on. I would say early on, meaning like sixth grade, maybe fifth grade, sixth grade. I started to really see a lot of holes in the tapestry that was being presented to me. Like, they would make us go to mass every single, I think it was every single Friday, if I'm not mistaken. And a lot of just time in the actual church. And there's a school building attached, and there's, a good old-fashioned brick and mortar school building. But right across the parking lot is the church, right? The great big steeples and the stained glass windows, the pews, the whole bit. Like, this is an actual Catholic church. And so much of it was just derived from that. And in addition, of course, you got to learn science and math and geography and social studies and everything else, right? So I definitely, by the time I was finished with that experience at age 12, actually, I started high school and then turned 13 a month later. My birthday's in October. Got out of that place and never looked back, realistically. I mean, it's a weird thing because I haven't quite answered the question. What do I believe? I'll start by saying this. I believe that for many people, religion and faith serve a purpose. I believe that level of religiosity does not serve a purpose for me, and that the purpose it serves is not the same for everyone. That everyone's got just a little nuance of their own. And sometimes a lot of nuance. Sometimes it's leagues and gulfs between beliefs. And that is evident by the fact that this planet is dominated by basically 3 major religions. But I believe that it can certainly serve a purpose for people in their life. It does not serve a purpose for me. And I saw, again, so many holes in the tapestry growing up. And as I started to become a teenager and started to think for myself and think critically, I started to see the aspects of this religious experience as control, and I think the Roman Catholic Church specifically has taken flack for that for hundreds, if not 1,000 years, in that it's not really about the benefit to the person, it's about the benefit to the church. You can argue that, the richest, when a church has a whole country as its seat of power, that's fine. I'm not really here to talk about the Catholic Church. I just really wanted to kind of lay that out to start the conversation. To give you kind of a baseline of my first experiences with belief, right? What do you believe? So that's my first answer. That's where I'm starting today. And yes, as expected, some people are believing, some people are responding, and the answers are great. I'm going to read just one of them right now, and I'm going to close out with just one. All right. And I'll save, I know I'm going to get more. I feel really good about this. I think it's going to be a good week. And I'll pick up more of these as I go through the week, but I'm just going to go with one because we're coming on 20 and I want to keep it to 20. Here's the deal. This is a guy I went to high school with, right? So this is one of the first friends I made coming out of that Catholic school experience into a public high school in 9th grade. I met this dude right here, and he says, treat others the way you want to be treated. Can't say it any better than that. So that's a good start. And I hope that you will participate in this conversation with me this week. Again, there should be hopefully now a functional link in the description of this podcast that will allow you to click it. And especially if you're on your phone, just give a quick okay for permission to use the microphone. Leave me a voicemail. Tell me, what do you believe? And with that, I will stop here and I will come back and talk to you again tomorrow. And I hope wherever you are, have a good one.